Yo, I'm not gonna even lie to you. I feel like this Lil Uzi Vert hate is actually good, which is just super weird to say. Because honestly, bro, like Uzi, definitely my favorite of all time, bro. Like it definitely goes Uzi, Yeet, and Juice for top three, bro. Like those three easily in my top three, like any day. You know what I mean? And for Uzi songs, bro, it's just so hard to choose my favorite. But if I were to choose, probably say this is like in no order. This is just kind of like all scattered around. But honestly, just from Love Is Rage 2, the song No Sleep Leak, such an underrated song. Like nobody, I swear nobody talks about it, but it's like such a top tier level Uzi leak, bro. It's just like it's literally incredible. It's like literally one of the best songs I've ever heard, and it's like a very very simple one too. It's just straight up like a banger. You know what I mean? 20 minutes off of Love Is Rage 2. Notice how a lot of these are all from Love Is Rage 2. That's just how good Love Is Rage 2 is. Love Is Rage 2, absolute classic. 20 minutes is just like a psychedelic banger. I've never heard anyone in my life not like 20 minutes. And I think 2021 was going viral on TikTok and shit like that. And I was like, finally, this song's getting some steam that it deserves. Like, there's literally been nobody I've shown this song to. Doesn't matter the race, the age, or whatever. They all think 20 minutes is like a vibe. It's straight up a vibe. But, here's why the hate is actually like good though. Recently he's been getting lots of hate. For his sus dancing and his outfit at Coachella. I believe Lil Uzi Vert is straight. He's in a relationship with JT, so I'm not too sure why he does a lot of the feminine activity. But I also do respect like when just a masculine dude's able to bring out the feminine side. I got like a lot of appreciation for that. Like I got mad respect for that. I just feel like he's doing it for the wrong reasons. I think he's trying to do it for attention. You do remember his whole diamond on his forehead type shit? I think that was for attention. And I think like the outfits, it's very much for attention. I got nothing wrong with that. I just feel like he's just trying to get more attention from it. And as I said the last time, he's been getting hate his whole career. Always missing. A lot of people are always just like missing the old Uzi. They're saying like, oh, this was like back 6 years ago, like right when Love Is Rage 2 came out. They were like, yo, I miss the old Uzi, not the Uzi that was, looking like a emo rock star with a bunch of piercings all over. And a lot of people were like, oh, I miss the purple hair Uzi. So he's been having this situation happen pretty much his whole career. People are like, oh, I miss the old Uzi. I miss the old swag he's got. It literally happened throughout his whole career. I feel like the most recent hate started after the whole Eternal Take debacle. You know what I mean? It took him 4 years after Love Is Rage 2 to actually drop Eternal Take. And that just made a lot of people just like very, very skeptical about him. You know what I mean? In 2018, there was a fake Eternal Take album that dropped on Spotify and Apple Music, and it had a bunch of the popular Uzi leaks, and a lot of people thought they were real. Like the album ended up charting super high on the US Spotify charts. I believe it hit like number one, at least number one on Apple Music. So when Eternal Take did come out and it had a totally different sound, a lot of people were a little bit disappointed. And apparently the reason why a lot of those songs didn't make the project, or even like the famous snippets, was just because Sanguine Paradise and That's Iraq ended up leaking. Like I guess a few months prior to Eternal Take, so Uzi was like, yo, I'm gonna go back to the drawing board, just make something totally different. I do think Eternal Take is close to the level of a classic, really good project, but I could see why some fans were kind of like, oh, like this is not necessarily the style of Uzi we were expecting or hoping for. Sounded maybe a little bit basic, like very trying to go mainstream, not as Eternal Take or outer space vibes as he could have done. So that part definitely does make sense. 2019, many more leaks started coming out. Just so many different ones, including Zoom. Zoom was a really good one that ended up leaking. There's just so many different ones. Yeah, like I said, finally when Eternal Take dropped, it wasn't exactly the sound people thought it was going to be. So it made them a little bit disappointed. So what Uzi ended up doing, I don't know if this was planned, but he started the whole deluxe, I don't know if the word is theory or the deluxe trend. I think trend's the right word. He made the whole deluxe trend situation. As after he dropped Eternal Take, he dropped a totally different album. And that album was Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World 2, which was technically a deluxe, so the first week sales ended up coming over because it was attached to the same album. So it was pretty much like a double album. And it had a lot of the very popular snippets on there, like Bean Kobe. It had Lotus on there. It had Myron on there, which was a popular snippet. So a lot of people were pretty stoked for that. And then he made fans wait 3 years to drop the Pink Tape after previewing just so many different snippets. You know, in 2020, he had the purple hair. He went back to the old Uzi. He ended up having braces, made him look younger. It's that so many people really wanted. Like some of my two favorites were I'm So Cool and Pluto to Mars. Pluto to Mars did end up dropping on the Pink Tape, but when it did end up dropping, I made the mistake of listening to the snippet probably like 200 times. So when the project came out and I heard Pluto to Mars, I loved it, but I already overplayed it. And it was the same with the song Ridiculous that was also previewed on December. And Ridiculous ended up being changed to I Gotta, at least title wise. And after the Pink Tape drop, he just threw away the project Pink Tape. I don't know if it was because he didn't get as much love as he wanted. He didn't sell as much as he should have. Luckily, he had I Just Wanna Rock to really save him for just to bring the hype back to him. And that song was an absolute hit. Arguably bigger than Extra Tour Life. You know what I mean? But yeah, he just threw it away. He put in so much money for the marketing and the trailer. It seemed like he really cared about it. He at every single concert, he was like, yo, Pink Tape coming soon. Pink Tape coming soon. And then when it finally dropped, he did like 0 videos to it. And he just stopped promoting it. And then he started doing a weird rollout to the Bar to 16. And that definitely deserved hate. When he started getting everybody hyped about Love is Rage 3, he just lost all the momentum of just the trust to his fans. And I think all of this hate he's getting, especially with the whole Coachella situation of him being very flamboyant, which, like I said, no problem with that. But he's just trying to get the attention back. And I'm glad he's getting the hate, because then he's going to realize he can just make whatever he wants to make. He doesn't have to try to impress anybody. He doesn't need to impress nobody about really anything. He's solidified. Like I said, he's got classics. And I think the Bar to 16, looking back, was maybe a good direction to go. Maybe not on the aspect of trying to copy Young Thug, but just like the aspect of him just really doing what he wants to do. And he kind of did that with Pink Tape, but I think he still had the pressure of dropping songs like I Gotta and Pluto to Mars and shit like that. He had that extra pressure on him. So I think this hate's really good for him. He's just gonna buckle down, get into his mode, and just drop loose, like just drop loosely, just drop whatever the fuck you want. Like when he dropped the song NFL, I didn't like it at first, but then I just kept listening to it, and it's just like, it became like addicting, you know what I mean? The song is kind of like how he makes music. He was just saying whatever the fuck was on his mind, and this ended up sounding like flames, bro. Like literally flames. So I'm glad he's straight up getting all the hate, bro. Like, he low-key deserves it, because he's just getting swayed by his audience and fans and shit like that. So I'm glad, because I think we'll get probably the best music from Uzi, and him just being so done with all of this bullshit that surrounds everybody trying to make it, like trying to change his mind and shit like that and want to drop. Because now he's gonna be golden, man.